In today's video, we're going to be taking a look here at the current conditions, diving into the upcoming pattern, as well as some severe weather. We do have a cold front coming. Let's just get straight into this video, though. And first things first, we're taking a look at our current radar imagery. And as you can see, there is a bit going on. We do see that for the four corner states up through the Rockies up here, we do have quite a bit going on all the way up through the Rockies, basically. And this has been a common occurrence so far this summer. I feel like these areas in here personally have had above average amounts of precipitation. If you guys live there, let me know, but it just seems like you guys have had a lot more than you're typically used to, especially Arizona and New Mexico there, where we've had quite a bit for what feels like over a month now. We'll zoom into that in a little bit and talk about it. We do have these kind of typical summertime thunderstorms and showers going on. It's almost not even worth mentioning at this point because it is going to be an everyday thing. It's going to be more worth noting when it's not there. That's when I'm going to really know fall is coming. Once we see none of this in here. For now, we're not even close to talking about that, though. We do see that there is a bit of storminess in here, and this is associated with a low that is up in Canada, and there is a swinging cold front here. This is what's going to bring a lot of our severe weather over the next couple of days. Summertime cold fronts that are like this are a pretty uncommon occurrence. We're going to see a couple of these in the upcoming pattern, so it's definitely going to be the highlight of our video and probably our next couple of videos until we have tropical activity. These next few very impactful cold fronts, as I said in the title of yesterday's video, they're going to bring cooler temperatures, especially since we've been dealing with above normal temperatures. So we're going to swing from probably like 10 degrees above normal to maybe 10 degrees below normal. So it's going to be about a 10-degree temperature swing, or about a 20-degree temperature swing, better yet. Which is going to feel very different, obviously. Not only that, it's going to bring strong thunderstorms with it because of the fact that we're seeing that 20-degree temperature swing with a cold front. Obviously, we know when cold and warm meets, it creates these very strong storms. And we're going to see a lot of features like that in the upcoming pattern as well. Let's just start out here in the northwestmost corner of our nation here, and we can see that for Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, we're seeing quite a bit of these isolated showers. So we're seeing kind of like this pocket in here, very, very isolated. You might be feeling some of these look like thunderstorms potentially here over the mountains, which is fairly interesting as well, Montana and Idaho up there. As we swing a little bit further southward, we can see kind of this monsoon type storminess that's going on. Just some showers, heavier showers hanging out here in Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, Colorado, even a little bit of southern Wyoming. They're seeing some of these, mostly lighter to moderate, but as we look south of Phoenix here, I'll even zoom in here, we do see quite a bit of orange and red showing up. This might be heavier in here, mostly south of Phoenix around I-8 and I-10, hanging out in there, mostly south of I-10 over here. We're seeing quite a bit of this, but it is heading kind of northwesterly, so we could see a lot of these areas start to see more of this activity throughout the day today. For New Mexico, it's kind of similar. We see south of Albuquerque, except this pocket's mostly heading southward. So we see probably a flow, something like this. Obviously, east to west is a little bit of a strange motion, but that is what we're seeing. Also, western Texas in here, we're seeing some thunderstorms and showers around for that pretty isolated region of the United States. As we take a look at Nebraska and South Dakota here, we see some showers and thunderstorms, definitely thunderstorms on the western end of things here, looking pretty intense. Let me just zoom in to make sure I have my bearings correctly here. This is kind of our westernmost extent of the cold front right now. We can see things are really moving along this cold front boundary. What this probably means is that this warmth is putting up a really strong fight, which is no surprise here. So we see the warmth really pushing back, which is causing the thunderstorms to move along that cold front. But don't be tricked here. We do definitely have a lot of cold air pushing. It's just the warm air is putting up a really great fight right now. We can see on the eastern front of things, it's kind of like, you know, a storm war here happening because we have the warmth and the cold happening. It's just this war going up in the sky that you wouldn't even know is happening really outside of the thunderstorms that are hitting. But we have the cold mostly making advances here on the eastern end of things, where the warmth is definitely putting up a good fight. We do see things are moving a little bit along the cold front, so we see a little bit of an easterly flow to things. However, it's definitely advancing much quicker in this region rather than the more western areas. We see thunderstorms here in Illinois and Indiana. Now, as we move up into Michigan here, we see mostly showers. This is kind of behind and with the cold front up here. So we see a lot of this going on in Michigan as well. And then as we look towards kind of the northeast, we can see there is a couple of pockets of very, very isolated showers and thunderstorms here ahead of the cold front. Mostly thunderstorms here, well, maybe like just a thunderstorm here, or there's actually a couple here happening in south central Pennsylvania, kind of south of the Appalachian Mountain Range for the most part, or in it at least, near I-76 and south of I-80 as well. We're seeing some of that near Sunbury there. So we're seeing quite a bit of isolated thunderstorms in there. Now, offshore of the East Coast, obviously we have these fairly typical thunderstorms here that are happening around these areas. They might head on shore at some point throughout the day today. And then these storms in the Gulf are always kind of a threat to head on shore at any point. We see some of that happening in Texas and other areas here in the deeper south. So we see south of Houston, we're seeing a little bit of activity in here. And then also for the other areas in the Gulf Coast, we're seeing also some of these come on shore. Pretty stationary, could lead towards some very spotty flooding. So we're going to be definitely on the watch out for that today. And then Florida, we're seeing some of these threatening to head on shore. These are moving a little bit quicker though, however. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on now that we've covered kind of the entire United States. That was pretty thorough too. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about the upcoming pattern. We're going to talk also about some of that severe weather that's going to come with this cold front. Now, here we are taking a look at the upcoming pattern. We're taking a look at this afternoon. You can see storms are going to spread throughout the eastern United States. A lot of these areas on shore now by this afternoon. We can see this cold front kind of advancing to here. Here's that low up in Canada as well. Up here, kind of getting a little hectic here. So we have a bit of a cold front developing here. It is going to get a lot more elongated, and it's going to spread eastward over time. We see the storminess for the Rockies and Four Corner states is going to continue through this afternoon as well. Then we can see by tomorrow afternoon, Monday, July 25th, here's the look. We have this low way up in Canada and this swinging cold front just like this. This is going to feature a lot of cold air pouring in to this kind of trough that we're seeing developing with this cold front. The warmth is putting up a good fight here, so severe weather along the eastern United States, kind of the East Coast as well, is going to be a possibility. We'll see that in a little while. Warmth is definitely putting up a fight, but the cold will win in the end. We see this monsoon-type storminess is still occurring as well down there, so there is a whole lot going on. We have a more active pattern expected through the next couple of days. Also some storminess lingering with this cold front. The low is probably way out here by this point, but we see a cold front still hanging out right here. It's going to lead towards multiple days of storminess for this pocket. We do see these monsoon-type storms happening still. We see our next low kind of developing here in our next little cold front, so we'll see that in a tiny bit. This is Tuesday, July 26th. Wednesday, July 27th. Here's the look. We see this low kind of hanging out. We can see we're definitely in a ridge in the west, a little bit of a trough in the east here. After that cold front is all said and done, we still see storminess along the boundary of the two air masses. We still see the tropical thunderstorms, obviously. We're still summertime. No surprise there. Thursday, we see just a lot of storminess for a lot of different areas. I'll just circle it, but all around in here, there's just some storminess going on. Definitely spinning a little bit as well. So we're just seeing some of this storminess in general. Still tropical thunderstorms, and there's still Four Corner states seeing some storminess as well. Now, by the time we reach Friday, it's kind of clear there's a bit of a cold front developing again, coming through. So this again might lead towards severe weather along this. There's a little bit longer range. We see Friday, July 29th. That's later this week. So we'll take a look at this. We'll be talking about this over the coming days. But then this one, what's interesting is it kind of starts to get where the warmth is going to start to win and push back. So we're going to see this turn around, or this is going to it's going to be moving south. It's going to become stationary where it's not moving anymore, and then it's going to start moving north again. So it's going to do a complete U-turn, and that's going to lead towards wherever it pauses, which looks like it's going to be about in here. It's going to lead towards a lot of precipitation. We'll see that in a minute, but we're going to see days and days of precipitation where that storm stalls out and then turns around. No surprise there, obviously. Pretty common sense stuff, but we see this returning in here, still leading towards more precipitation. We see the tropical thunderstorm still around. These areas in here kind of calm down. We get less precipitation in the longer range. That's Sunday, July 31st. Here's August 1st, which will be Monday. We still see precipitation hanging out in this region, so that is going to be pretty impactful. And even by Tuesday, the 2nd here, we see precipitation kind of for the interior eastern United States. And that's kind of where we close things out with this model run. So here's the total precipitation. No surprise here that where that cold front stalls out, that second one, we get tons of precipitation. let's just go through the different color codes here. We see the white is going to be about no precipitation. I don't know why I say it like that, but kind of a nail biter. About no precipitation is expected in the white regions. Your grays is going to be 1/10 of an inch or less of precipitation, so practically nothing. Maybe a chance here and there. Your greens will be 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch of precipitation. Your blues will be 1/2 an inch, or your blues will be 1/2 an inch to an inch. Your yellows will be 1 inch to 2 inches. Your reds will be 2 to 5 inches, which we see a lot of that, where that cold front again stalls out and then turns around. So all throughout this region, we see a lot of that. And then it's going to turn around. So it's going to be 3-4 days of cold front type conditions. And that's the second cold front. So you're already getting the first cold front, and then that second one really stalls out. So we get basically 2 to 5 inches of precipitation expected everywhere in there. And then even those grays popping up, which is 5 to 10 inches of precipitation. And for West Virginia, Kentucky, maybe a little bit of Tennessee, I even see some whites and blues popping up in those grays. That's going to be 10 to 15 inches of precipitation. Although we're seeing a maximum here of 11, according to this model, 11.07, which is on the very, very bottom right-hand corner of your screen. You can see that. So that's somewhere in there. So just over 10 inches, which for a 10-day period, this is 240 hours or 10 days, 24 times 10. We're looking at about 1 inch per day to maybe even 1.1 inches per day in the very, very maximum areas, which is extreme amounts of rainfall, obviously, for a 10-day period. Probably getting well above your monthly average for July, just within this period. Very, very interesting stuff. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on. We're going to take a look at the upcoming temperature pattern, and then we'll take a small look at that severe weather as well. Here's the day one temperature pattern. We can see we're left with very warm temperatures here throughout the eastern and south central United States. But here's that cold air that is pouring down. We see this moving through already. This is going to really move in by the time we're taking a look at tomorrow, Monday, July 25th here. We see this is much further south, so we see a lot of cold bottled up here. Warmth for the west, warmth still for the south central, all the way up the eastern United States. However, this cold is going to keep advancing. We can see by the time we reach Tuesday the 26th, this reaches kind of the eastern United States, so we see a lot of cold bottled up in here now. Warmth still underneath. Again, it's going to put up a good fight in here. We see where the boundary probably is. A lot of warmth out west as well, so we're seeing a lot of these types of things. Wednesday the 27th, we see some cold up here. Neutral temperatures in the northeast, and then warmth here for the eastern seaboard, and then warmth also for the southern United States here in the eastern United States. Now for Thursday, July 28th, this is when that second cold front begins to move through, and this cold air gets a little bit more potent. It's going to move a little bit further south here. We see by the time we're reaching Friday the 29th, we see this advancing further than the first cold front was able to advance, all the way into the deeper south with some below normal temperatures. It's going to feel like nice relief for sure. Saturday the 30th, we see a lot of these areas in here dealing with those colder conditions, so it reaches the eastern United States. It's never really going to reach the Gulf, though, because by the time we reach about Sunday the 31st, we can see that warmth is building in over top, cutting it off kind of, or putting the cap on the bottle, if you will. And this cold is going to really just be surrounded by heat, and it's going to kind of just... it's just going to dwindle. It's getting blitzkrieged right now, basically. August 1st here on Monday, we see it's dwindled down to just a little tiny area of below normal temperatures. And we close things out here with just the last little sliver of cold air in Kentucky and Tennessee. But clearly over the coming days after that, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th of August, it's going to get hot again, and that cold is going to die back down. That's the look as of now. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and we're going to take a look at that upcoming severe weather. Now, here we are taking a look at the day one categorical outlook. We only have 2 days of categorical outlook. For some reason, on this website, Pivotal Weather, it had an error with the day 3 categorical outlook where it was showing up the same as the day 2. So we're only going to look at the next 2 days. I know that from looking at the Real Storm Prediction Center website that the day 3 outlook is only a marginal risk, and it's kind of an area like this. So it's this area in here has a marginal risk as of now. Tomorrow we'll have a better look at that, so tune in with us tomorrow. Now the day 1 categorical outlook, we have a very, very large general thunderstorm risk expected there in that lighter green region. Again, it's where general thunderstorms are expected, so no severe weather is necessarily expected, but anything is possible, so heed every watch, warning, and advisory. We do have 3 darker green regions, one there for Arizona, one there for the plains just to the east of the Rockies, and then one there for the kind of the interior northeastern United States and Ohio Valley. That's all the areas where we expect isolated severe weather to occur. The yellow region there for the interior eastern United States is going to be your slight risk area where we expect scattered severe weather today. And then that orange area for Pennsylvania and New York is our enhanced risk of severe weather, where we expect more widespread severe weather to be possible today on Sunday, July 24th. Now for day 2, which will be our last frame we take a look at here, we can see that there is a general thunderstorm risk in the lighter greens. Again, continue to heat every watch warning and advisory. And then the 2 darker green regions there, one for the plains and then one there for the northeastern United States as well as the mid-Atlantic. That's where we have a marginal risk at severe weather. And we expect isolated severe weather to happen in there. Now, the yellow region for the eastern United States, mostly the mid-Atlantic into kind of like southern New England, that's where we have a slight risk, and that's where we expect scattered severe weather to take place in there. Anyway, again, we're skipping day 3 here, but it's mostly a marginal risk there for, I'll circle it once more, but it's kind of a marginal risk in here, just like this. But we'll see it tomorrow, so stay tuned. It is 3 days out, so we're good. We'll take a look at it tomorrow, and we'll get a good update on that. Anyway, for today's confidence tab, we're at a 4 out of 6. Really, it has been a quiet pattern as far as tropics, and in the years past, it's been much, more active at this point. So far, we're off to a start, like a quieter start to the hurricane season. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, because maybe it's just that, brewing out there, and it's going to really come in with a pack a punch. We've seen a lot of times when hurricane seasons start out really, really early. Sometimes they die down in August and September, and then when we get those peak conditions, we get less storms. So maybe it'll be the opposite of that, and we're getting quieter during the not so peak months, and then during the peak months, it's really going to pop off. But only time we'll really be able to tell. Hopefully, we'll close out with a quieter hurricane season. That would be a good thing, considering how the past couple have gone. Now, for today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our Plata patrons, Bill Craich, James Wade, Dovin Nagel, Larry LePan, Mandy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donna Carnes as well. I'd also to thank our Diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Kodalasa, Capite, Charles Stinnett, Bill Dallas, Garys, and John Khaleesi also. I'd also to thank our channel members, Capite, Stephen Finn, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.